What is going on, all of you Nintendo and Super Smash Bros. Fans out there in the world? I'm Mega Amster. Thank you for checking out this YouTube video, whether you are a new or returning viewer. Appreciate you stopping by real quick. And today, less of an organized video and more of just me reminiscing and talking about the works of a man who has had a huge impact on Nintendo, on the video game scene, and personally, his work has had an impact on my life, and that is Masahiro Sakurai, who you may know is responsible for directing and producing and kind of being hands-on with all the Super Smash Bros. Series of games, as well as some of the early Kirby games. He also worked on Kid Icarus Uprising. In the last couple of years, he has a YouTube channel that he has been uploading content to. And as you can see here, once this video gets uploaded, this will already be live. As of now, I haven't watched it because I'm recording it the day before, but this will be Sakurai's final video that we know of so far on his YouTube channel, where he's been focused on educating and sharing some insights into kind of his development process and things of the past. And it's been a really insightful channel. I've personally appreciated a lot. I was pretty on point about watching some of his early stuff when he debuted. I think it was around August of 2022 we started kind of uploading videos. But I definitely fell off a little bit here and there. But this one I'm definitely going to watch. This is going to be a 40-minute long video that he's had. This man, Masahiro Sakurai, right? I don't want to only credit him as the reason why Smash and Kirby exist. I mean, well, Kirby for sure, and Smash, like, he kickstarted it all. But of course, there's the work of hundreds of employees that went into those games, right? So I don't want to discredit anybody here. The focus of this video really will be on Sakurai himself, because without him, we wouldn't have this stuff, right? He's the one who kickstarted it all. Like I said, but because of him, we've had so much more insight into the inner workings of Nintendo, especially with this YouTube video. The fact that Nintendo lets him do these videos is kind of crazy. I don't really know, like, in terms of, like, you know, I'm sure he discusses with Nintendo, like, what he's allowed to share. Because, like, for example, a lot of these games are, like, more technical or more talking about different sides of the game development industry, which is super insightful and is really cool to see. I especially like some of his audio videos he had focused on. It's like there's a bunch of compilations here, animations, graphics, effects, all sorts of stuff. Like I said, I haven't watched every single video, but he's done a lot there. But then also there's a lot about the different history of some of his stuff. He has this very well organized. But there was some talking about the history of making early Kirby games, a lot of the history about making Super Smash Bros. And the different kind of struggles and, you know, successes they had during development of all of those games. And so the fact that he gets to reveal some of that in this is pretty cool, especially being from a Japanese studio. We don't get to see that, at least here in the West, very often. Nintendo in particular is a very secretive company. So we're finding out a lot more through his stuff, and he's done other sorts of stuff too. His video on Iwata I did watch. That was a really good video. So I appreciated that as well. But even like work ethic videos, team management, all sorts of stuff that it seems like he's enjoyed creating. But for now, with this final episode, once it debuts, like I said, it'll be uploaded now as of this recording when this one goes up. It seems like he's going to be taking a break. I don't know if he's going back into game development. I don't know if he said anywhere. If he has, let me know in the comments below. But of course, besides his channel, I mean, we all know him for the early Kirby games. Kirby's Adventure is one of my favorite Kirby games personally, but he also worked on the early Dreamland games, Superstar. I don't think he was involved in Kirby 64. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. That might have been the first one he wasn't. But then again, I'm a little iffy on the details. I really especially want to talk about Smash Brothers today, as you could probably tell. Smash Brothers, personally, has had such a huge impact on my life. Because for me, it debuted all the way back with Brawl. With Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the third entry in the series being on the Nintendo Wii release in 2008, at least in America here. And this game for me, because at the time, I had played some Nintendo handhelds here and there on like my Game Boy Advance, my Nintendo DS. You know, I enjoyed a lot of games there. I played some Mario. That was kind of I really didn't play much Zelda or like Metroid or any of these series. Once I played Brawl, I got my Wii and I played Brawl through Subspace Emissary for the first time, and like got to see all these different characters interact. Like, oh, I recognize some of these Pokemon, like Pikachu and Mewtwo, pretty much. I knew who Link was. I was like, oh, Link, okay. I'm like, oh, that's Samus from Smash Brothers, Captain Falcon from Super Smash Brothers, of course. And like, I mean, for me, seeing Sonic there was hype because I grew up playing almost only Sonic. So like seeing him in the game was really cool. But, you know, I got hooked onto this game from playing multiplayer with friends. And then, you know, getting this game for myself on my first Nintendo home console being the Wii, and like experiencing that single player mode just made me fall in love with crossover games and made me want to connect with these characters. If it wasn't for Brawl, I wouldn't be into Nintendo games as much as I am today. That is a stone cold fact, because I found out about all these different characters through this game. I found out about Link, that got me into Zelda. I found out about Samus, that got me to try out Super Metroid. You know, all these different series. I mean, there are still some I haven't played. Like, I haven't played a ton of F-Zero. I've barely played Star Fox. I haven't played any of Earthbound or Mother. You know, so there's still some I haven't tried out here, but I definitely tried out so many more Nintendo games because of Smash Brothers. And granted, that's kind of what I wanted. You know, that was kind of one of the goals, was to be like, hey, like, I mean, mainly for third parties, but the Nintendo is more like a celebration of their first party repertoire, but especially for third party companies, like, you know, especially starting with Smash 4 era, which we'll get into here. Of course, I mean, Snake, I still haven't played a Metal Gear Solid game. I know that's on my list to do soon. I really had no connection with him. I just thought he was the cool dude in Smash Brothers. But especially Smash 4 is really where I started to get into it, get into the hype and follow the character reveals and the news cycles and all that. Palutena's trailer especially was really, really cool. But I mean, a lot of them were really super cool. Just to see all these different characters that I wasn't familiar with for the most part going into it. You know what I mean? Like, I had heard of these people. Oh, like I had heard of Chrom and Lucina. They're from Fire Emblem, right? I guess not Chrom, because he wasn't playable in 4, right? It would have been Robin and Lucina in that case. But like, just, I was so into it at this point with Smash 4 and just being hyped about all these different announcements and really getting into it. And it's all due to the fact that Sakurai has such a passion for these different series. He must have told, the way he directed on the content, the trailers even, he was like probably giving them every little single detail about what you need to do to respect the legacy of some of these even lesser known series, like something like a Kid Icarus. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that he put that much respect, he put respect into Duck Hunt Dogs trailer. Like, you know what I mean? Sakurai is one of those people who cares about the tiniest little details, and you wouldn't think that they necessarily matter, but they do. You know, we would miss these things if they weren't there in the games. All different sorts of little dialogue, animations, items, trophies, you name it. Without Sakurai at the helm for these games, I don't know. It wouldn't be as much of a passion project as it is now. You can tell these games are a passion project, even though it's multiple people involved. But you can tell that Sakurai and the team cared about making these games. And with Sakurai's kind of guidance through these games, that clearly helped a lot, just to kind of iron out these details. But like, I wouldn't have tried out Kid Icarus Uprising for sure if it wasn't for this game. I wouldn't have tried out Fire Emblem Awakening, and now that's one of my favorite games of all time. It's my favorite strategy RPG for sure that I've played. Not that I played a lot, but still, I think that means something, right? You know, there's a lot more stuff that I tried out because of this series. I wouldn't have tried out Bayonetta if it wasn't for Bayonetta's reveal trailer and as the DLC. I probably wouldn't have tried out Final Fantasy VII if it wasn't for Smash. You know what I mean? Remember when Cloud was revealed, I'm like, listen, I was a dumb gamer. I didn't know who Cloud was. I'm like, who is this spiky haired dude? Well, you know what? That's a lie. I might have known who he was. I just was like, what game is he from again? You know? So, but I think I recognize the design. But like, I have Smash to personally thank for getting me into a lot more series, especially Nintendo, but even third parties too. Like I said, Bayonetta, Final Fantasy, Mega Man, that was a big one. I remember when the demo came out for Smash 3DS and Mega Man was one of the available characters to play as in the demo. I'm like, and I heard that he was hard to play. I'm like, I'm going to try to get good with Mega Man. And Mega Man was my main in Smash 4. And because of that, I felt inclined to try out some of the other classic and X games and fell in love with a bunch of those, you know? So, like, in one way, it's like, I feel like Smash works really well as an advertisement because it's like, you know, they make you care about the characters and like they make you intrigued enough to check out some of the series. At least for me. I know not everybody's like that, but for me, that's kind of what it tends to do. But moving on to Ultimate, I mean, Ultimate was the big thing. I was already invested in Smash at that point, and like this was like absolute peak. You know what I mean? This was absolutely peak. You could see Sakurai's passion for this game ooze through, especially in some of these trailers. This Castlevania trailer is one of the best trailers for any game reveal I've ever seen to this day. This trailer is so freaking good. The K. Rool one made me freak out, but this one is just such a good trailer, and you absolutely love to see it. I really enjoyed a lot of these reveals they had here, and you know, it was definitely getting to a point where they were almost glorified a little bit, but at the same time, it made it more of like an event. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Sakurai's dedication to this, we wouldn't have this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and clearly Sakurai's he's tired. You know what I mean? He was definitely tired, especially because Smash 4's development with the DLC, as we know, kind of led directly into Smash Ultimate. So since the DLC for Ultimate wrapped up, it's actually funny. We're, I think it's just about 3 years. We're right around the 3-year mark of Sora being released in Smash Ultimate. I think it was like October 20 something, if I remember correctly, in 2021. Correct me in the comments about that. We're approaching the 6-year anniversary of Smash Ultimate launching. It's a lot of anniversaries for this series, which is really cool to see. And I don't know, especially with, Sakurai's kind of parting words on his video there, like his final video coming up soon, like it makes me wonder what he'll be doing next. Who's to say for sure? Whatever he does, we know he's gonna put a ton of passion and creativity into it. I mean, just like, you see how many like little details there are that they sneak into these trailers. Bro, this presentation, I had no idea who the hell Terry was. I'm sure most Smash Brothers players had no idea who the hell Terry was. Terry became my main because I liked playing as him so much. And like, Sakurai, you could tell he was such a nerd for King of Fighters, because just seeing 15-minute video talking about all this tech related to Terry is amazing. Like, no one else could get me to care this much about the little details of a fighting game. You know what I mean? Like, and like, yeah, you could argue Smash is a party game. I know, there's the whole argument, but it still has a fighting game at its core, right? So, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's, what else can you really say? Like, the amount of details, all the different videos, I always looked forward to these presentations, especially that one where they revealed Simon and Richter and K. Rool and Chrom and Dark Samus. That trailer, that whole presentation to me is easily my favorite video game presentation I've ever watched in my entire life. That presentation was just so consistently good, and it was long, but it flowed super well and talking about all the little details and enhancements. And it's just like I said, no one else would make me care that much about the details of a game except for Sakurai. He just has a way of presenting it to where you can tell he cares so much, and that just oozes through, I mean, if you're not into Smash Brothers, like, this isn't going to do anything for you, of course, but like, if you're into Smash Brothers, this kind of stuff is really, really fun. So you could tell he had a lot of fun with showing off like the respect to these series, as well as like the little details within Smash itself. But yeah, I mean, this all comes back full circle. It's been 3 years since Sora was revealed and released into the game. And I mean, what a reveal to end on. I've talked about it before. Sora, in my opinion, was the perfect character to end on in Smash Ultimate. It was a lot of fans' dream character, and it was a great ending one. It really all came full circle and kind of put a nice little bow on Smash Brothers for now, maybe forever. I have no idea. If this is really Sakurai's last game, he went out on a bang. He really did. He gave his all with of course, the development team, everybody else who worked on this game. And I have them to thank for a lot of my gaming taste. I checked out the Kingdom Hearts collection because of Sora being revealed in this game. There's just, I don't know. There's so much I have Sakurai and the team, their work to thank for when it comes to my gaming taste, especially regarding Nintendo and even a lot of third parties. Just being exposed to them in a game like this, where there's a whole crossover element, you get to experience some of the stages, assist trophies, and so on. Even the characters' movesets, like, you get to experience them as their characters from their respective series, because Sakurai and the team did such an amazing job of implementing them and keeping their identities from their series and putting them in this game. And it still blows my mind to this day. Now, that also brings up the argument, could a Smash Brothers be made without Sakurai? I think at this point, probably. It wouldn't feel the same. There would definitely be a difference. Then again, I'm all for, I mentioned this on the channel before, I'm all for doing something completely fresh with this series. We've had the same core formula for a while now. I'm down for something completely new. So if Sakurai's not involved, right, he's got to retire at some point, right? He might already be retiring after he's done with these videos on his YouTube channel. But like, I think it's possible they could still continue Smash Brothers. And like, it sells super well, so they're probably going to want to. It's just at some point, Sakurai's going to have to not be involved. And when is that day? I don't know. I hope it's up to him. I hope he doesn't get forced to make another one, because like, and I really hope it's not Smash Ultimate Deluxe, man. Just Sword put such a nice bow on this game. Really, really did. If they just like re-release it on the Switch 2 with added content, I'm sorry, that'd be cool. It would almost feel like a waste. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Feel free to argue against me in the comments below on that. But this felt like such a nice wrap up. And Sakurai deserves a break. He really deserves a break, man. Like, it seemed like his break after being done with Ultimate was doing the YouTube channel work. There's kind of a year gap in between when Sora, a little less than a year, when Sora released in Smash Ultimate and when Sakurai started making YouTube videos. So, I mean, maybe he needed a break from the game industry and he's jumping back in. Maybe he's just done with everything, period. But I don't know. Either way, like, I have so much of my gaming tastes to owe to Sakurai and the team. Sakurai for kickstarting Kirby, for kickstarting Smash Brothers, for allowing me to play a Kid Icarus game that, while I don't love the controls, is still a really well-crafted game, and I can respect that and appreciate it for what it is. It's, you know, to wrap this video up, I want to say thank you, Sakurai-san, very much. Thank you for early Kirby. Thank you for Smash Brothers, for pretty much influencing the different kinds of games that I would play through. A lot of games that I would play through for the rest of my life up to this day. Shout out to the team and everybody who worked on these games and made them the way they are. And for Sakurai's sake, I mean, this is going to be a good video, I'm sure. The finale, it's going to be a little emotional maybe, but I'll be curious to see what he does after the fact, whether it's retiring finally or making a new game. Whatever it is, I hope he ends up doing something that he's passionate about and that he's happy with and that he isn't too stressed about, unlike, from what we've heard, some of the development details of Smash 4 and Ultimate, but hopefully he will do well. Just thank you for everything, Sakurai. You've done amazing work, and I wish the best for you and for everybody who has worked on these games. But with that, that is going to do it for this, I don't want to say quick, this little reminiscing and appreciation video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What Smash Brothers was your first? What was your first Sakurai-made game? How much of an impact has these games had on your life? Have you tried out, like me, other games in different series because of Smash Brothers, because of Sakurai's work? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next video or live stream. And until then, keep on gaming. And listen, like I said, I don't want Smash Deluxe on Switch 2. That's just me. I know that I'm in the minority, but let's do something unique. Let's do something creative. Whatever Sakurai works on next, if he does, I'm sure it's going to be good. See you later.